only child?
No, I have a sister.
Okay, older, younger?
Younger sister.
Is she here too?
No, she's in Atlanta.
Okay. What does she do?
She works for Wells Fargo. She went to school for accounting.
Okay. Okay, so we were just talking a little bit. You know, Augusta is pretty much basically home. You graduated from Butler in what year?
2002.
Okay. And so then, were you already doing hair in high school? Or how long have you been doing hair?
I've been doing hair, well, I had a hair mishap when I was in middle school. So that's what started me on actually doing hair. I told my mom I was not going back to the beauty salon ever again.
Tell me about the mishap.
So I had a picture, you know how you get a picture and you just have this ideal hairstyle of what you want. That did not happen. And I was devastated. Like all my friends, I told them I was getting this haircut, that. Didn't look nothing like the picture, nothing. I literally went home and started cutting in my own hair.
Wow. So what had your hair been relaxed already then?
It was relaxed. I had very long hair. And at that time, they were running really short at the top and long in the back. And I was like, oh my God, like my hair was so messed up. Like it was so long. It was like a mushroom. And so I literally went home and started cutting in my own hair. So some people think I've always been a hairstylist. Like literally me and my sister were both going to be veterinarians. We were both going to save all the little puppies in the street, you know, create little homeless shelters, do all that stuff. But that one hair mistake actually got me to doing hair.
Wow, that is really interesting. So it was the cut that wasn't
right. And I told my mom, I said, I can do this myself. Like, I can put my own relaxers in. And I literally started playing in my own hair from middle school. High school, I did everybody's hair. I was in the band, so I did everybody's hair. Everybody knew either Melanie was doing hair on the front porch of the house or either in my room. So I set up shop literally in my bedroom at home. So I always had like a little bit of change. I used to charge $10 and do a ponytail, whatever. So some people, they're not surprised that I do hair, but...
Wow, that's interesting that happened to you, because I remember when I got my first relaxer, I had to be maybe middle school age, and it was one of the most, like I still have flashbacks.
Yeah.
You know, I remember literally running around the salon because it was burning so much, and you know, you had my mom and the stylist running to try to catch me.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
We got some really crazy horror stories when it comes to our hair.
Oh yeah, it'll change your life.
It will definitely change your life. But I think too, the story of our hair as Black women and our relationship to our hair,
yes,
is an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe that relationship that Black women have with our hair? What is that about?
I think for the longest time they have made where your hair is your glory. So what I found out now is a lot of women are suffering from alopecia, male pattern baldness, and different stuff like that. So their self-esteem and stuff has dropped because we've always been told our hair is our glory. So for me in this time, well, for a while now, I've always wanted to give that back to them, because you're not your hair. You know, you can be naturally beauty, naturally curly, straight, long. I mean, it depends on who I feel like being 1 week at a time, depending on what you're going to get from me. But it's just... I love the connection. I love the breakthrough. It's like so many times just seeing a smile. You never know what somebody's going through, and then, you know, I make that transformation. They have that before and after, and it's just like they just get an air about themselves. And I just love that, especially if somebody... I've had a lot of patients that go through chemo, and just to give them hope back, like, you know, yes, my hair came out, but I can get through this. I've literally had clients' hair to come out in the sink and, you know, be in tears and stuff, and, you know, I can make a unit for them or do different stuff like that just to, you know, give them life back. Like, it's not over after that. But that's what I love about the connection with what I do, just changing people's lives. Like, I think the biggest ministry and the biggest breakthroughs I've had is from standing behind my chair.
That bad hairstyle when you were in middle school, was that the beginning for you, or was that the darkest? What was the darkest? Because you certainly had to go through some stuff. Yeah, you was the resident stylist, and everybody knew. I mean, it's just like when we go to college.
Yeah.
You know, I know you went to trade school, but in college, you know, everybody on the dorm room floor, everybody know who the hairstylist is. And I had a crazy experience in college with weave. That's why I don't do weave. Girl, I was in this pageant. I had some curly weave. Oh, Jesus, and that's when the glue was like the only way.
Yeah.
It wasn't nobody doing sew-ins. Wasn't nobody doing whatever else y'all doing today. Nobody was doing that.
Yeah.
And so this glue, oh my God! And I remember I had to go to another stylist to get this stuff out of my head. And Mel, when she was pulling the track, my hair was coming right off the tracks with it. I had parts in my hair this wide, and I just remember saying, this really cannot be legal, that people should be able to do this kind of stuff and wreak this kind of damage and this havoc on people. So, what was that moment for you? Because I can tell you just get so, you light up when you talk about the ministry piece to what you do. But when was it that you needed to be ministered to on this journey to where you are now? What happened?
So I graduated from high school, I went to cosmetology school, graduated. I got pregnant with my daughter very young. I got pregnant with her when I was 19. And at that point, that was the dark time for me. It's me and my sister. So, it's one child, the other child. I did stuff in high school, not really bad stuff, but I felt like I was that child that my parents it was always something. So when I graduated from high school, I graduated from cosmetology school, I ended up getting pregnant. It was not a good relationship, not a healthy relationship.
What do you mean, not a good relationship? What do you mean?
Like emotional abuse. I felt like that was the only person I could confide in because I felt like I would constantly let my parents down. So I ran to that. And then I did not know how to leave that. And literally, if he wouldn't have left or, he ended up going to jail. But if that wouldn't have happened, I don't think me or my daughter would be here.
What do you mean? Like
it was emotional abuse. Like when I found out I was pregnant, and I understand now that he was in a place and I was the closest thing to him. So, it would be different stuff where he might grab my wrist. I can literally remember going to work and him he just being angry, twisting my wrist and just saying stuff, and I could be standing there and just hit me or whatever. But I would go to work, like nothing ever happened.
You said everything. That he would hit you?
Yeah, my side or something like that. And I was pregnant at the time. Yeah, I was pregnant. And I never, told my parents. I never did any of that. I just stuck with it, and it was hard. I can see why so many females stay and they don't leave. It's a mindset. It's a mind. You have to be strong-willed to say it's over. And I don't know if I would have been that strong to say it's over. God had to remove him. Yeah.
So we're not talking emotional abuse. We're talking emotional and physical abuse. So when you say, how bad did it get? Because that seems pretty bad. You're pregnant and somebody's putting their hands on you in any way, whether it's a wrist grab or whatever. But I think, because I'm feeling some kind of way right now hearing this. So how bad did it get?
Oh, I can remember being in the store one time, and I can remember scratching my back. And you scratch your back, sometimes your shirt goes up. And I can remember him punching me in my back, saying that I was trying to show my back. It was weird stuff. The worst it ever got, because I could never get him to leave. Like when I would go to work, he would come to my job, and I would just try to leave with him just so he wouldn't act up. And so it was one particular time he was going to stay at a hotel, so I was like, I'm going to take you to the hotel, drop you off. He took my keys. And when he took my keys, he would not give them back. So, I'm up there trying to get my keys. I'm like, will you please give me my keys so I can go? Then we started fighting. He started choking me. And I'm pregnant. I'm like 4 or 5 months pregnant then. And he's choking me, and I'm just trying to figure out, how can I get out of this situation? I just remember, I don't even remember what I hit him with. I don't know if it was the phone or something, but I ended up hitting him with something. I ended up running out of the room, and I'm downstairs. I'm down because it was a, upstairs, downstairs hotel or whatever. It's raining outside. And I'm pleading with these people to say, will you please get him to give me my keys so I can leave? And I ended up getting my keys back, leaving. We kind of didn't talk anymore after that. Later on, I found out that he was in jail. And it just went from there.
So he was in jail.
And then him being in jail, so some time went by. I was like 8 months pregnant, 8, 9 months pregnant. I ended up getting pulled over for a speeding ticket. When I got pulled over for the speeding ticket, I ended up having a warrant on me. I had a warrant on me because we were driving from Atlanta one time. We got pulled over. Did not know he was using someone else's ID. And it all tied back to me because it was my vehicle, my insurance. So literally I was riding down the street, Lumpkin Road by Augusta Tech, and I was so-called speeding, got pulled over, and they said I had a warrant, and they took me to jail.
Wait a minute, so you like this?
Like big belly.
What? I mean, what? And then what?
So after that, I'm there, in the holding cell or whatever, and you know, I'm upset. I'm not crying in jail, you know, I can't show, but I was lost. I was just like, oh my God, because I did not know what was gonna happen, and it's like now I've gotten to the point where, you know, I'm almost gonna have my baby. You know, you've been released or whatever, and when I got outside, I remember my parents being out there, and they told me that the police officer that pulled us over, he called and told them to let me out because he could not sleep knowing that it was a pregnant woman in jail for that situation. And so they let me out, and I had to report, you know, after I had my daughter, whatever. She was a couple weeks old. I had to go to the county and report, and it just went away. Like, but it was very dark because I didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't know if I was gonna, you know, be in jail having my daughter, or she was gonna get taken away from me. I didn't know, and I can't even describe the feeling, like, because now I know she's the reason she saved my life.
Why do you say that?
Because of her, I changed everything, because I knew it was no longer just me. I knew it was somebody watching me, somebody that I had to take care of. So from that time on, I just said, whatever I got to do to take care of her is what I'll do. And that's what I've been doing ever since.
Girl, that's crazy.
Yeah, so after that, I actually went, you know, we counted that situation. I was doing hair. Mm-hmm. So, you know, at that time, cosmetology wasn't that's not a career, you know. You can't do hair. That's not going to take care of your child. So I'm listening to everybody, you know, my family. You need to go back to school. So I go to school. I go to AU. I go there for not even a year, and I drop out. And I'm telling them, like, I can't, you know. I was miserable in there. I was miserable in the classroom. And so I said, just let me try it. Let me try it. Because even the professor I had, I'll never forget, in the new orientation, we had to come up with these time charts. And he was like, you don't have time to do anything. Because literally my chart was commute. It was going to the salon, go to school, pick my daughter up. You know, we had to literally jot down everything we did. And he was like, you don't have to. I said, no, I really don't. Like, I would literally pick my daughter up from daycare, take her back to the shop, and she would literally be in the shop like she was a shop baby. She got passed from lap to lap. When she was in a walker, she was whatever. She grew up in the shop. Everybody knew Malia in the shop. And I just said, I can't.
we're there.
Okay. So you hadn't looked back. Do you think that you had to go through those things in order to get to where you are now? What do you think all of that was about in terms of where you are now?
A lot of the stuff I went through, when I look back now, I understand just from Jeremiah, 29:11, just, the plans that he has for me. If I wouldn't have went through a lot of that stuff, I wouldn't be in this position. I wouldn't be able to, help young girls that are dealing with that. I feel like in the time that I was in, we kept everything a secret. Like it was a shame thing that you walked around with. It was a shame for me to be pregnant at that age. It was a shame for me, to go to jail. So I walked around carrying that. I couldn't tell anybody. It's just like, let me keep my head down. Let me do this and just stay low profile. And all it was doing was eating me up on the inside. And it's so many people, I feel like the older generation, they don't help us out is because they never tell their story truthfully. They make it seem like they never did anything wrong. They've never been in the club. They've never been to jail. They've never been pregnant. They've never been in this and that. And it's killing us. Because if you would have just said to me, you know what, Mel, I've been there before, it would have helped me get through it. But I felt like I had nobody to talk to because it felt like it doesn't happen to, it happens to people. But the people that you're connected to, they're not telling you the truth. And I mean, just even in church, you just have to keep your, it's just, no, I just been holy all my life. Like, it's not like that. Tell me your struggle. And if you tell me your struggle, then you can help somebody else. And so I kept my head down for a long time. And that's why the success to me was hard. Because I dropped out of school, I was just trying to, you just do whatever to make my parents proud. Like, don't mess up again. Don't mess up again. And whenever something good would happen, I would just dim down even more. Because I didn't want, people to know. I didn't want my past to come out. I didn't want nobody to Google this or Google that or, find this out just because now I'm in this light. So a lot of stuff I didn't do. I mean, clients I had, most of my clientele is older than me, but they still confide in me and advice why I don't know. But they say I'm an old head, even though I've been here young. But I was inferior to them because I felt like, because in that time too, everybody had degrees. All my friends went to school. They had this degree and that degree. And I just pretty much went to high school, got my cosmetology license, that's all I had. And by the world standard, the degrees is what puts you in these different levels. But by the word, I'm actually in these levels and I don't have any of the accolades that most of the people that have. I'm not supposed to, by the word, I'm not supposed to be here. Financially, I'm not supposed to be here. By me being a female, black, I'm not supposed to be here. My bank accounts didn't add up. Like nothing added up. Nothing makes sense. If I was to write it down and try to explain it to you, where I am now makes no sense. And I know it was God. And now I can say for myself, I know him for myself. Nobody can tell me anything. Nobody can say what he did. No, for me, I know him.
Girl, you're gonna have me get in trouble with this report. Oh Jesus.
Oh Lord.
You're gonna have me get in trouble with this report. Because let me tell you, that my whole thing is and has always been silence kills, but transparency heals.
Yes.
And you cannot heal if you don't open your mouth.
Mm-mm.
And because you're keeping your mouth closed, like you said, the next sister don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And okay.
I ain't trying to get you in trouble.
You don't get me in trouble. Cause see, I'm real, and see.
I just feel like that's the biggest. I talk to people about that all. Like that's the biggest struggle I've dealt with. Is just I had kept quiet for so, and it was killing me. And I was literally, the blessing to me was depressing. It was a burden. because I kept quiet. So it's like, stuff just adding up, just keep adding up. So like when I got the facility or whatever, it was, so many people said different things. So many people walked away. So many people left. So much stuff was revealed to me. Even just the community. I mean, I'm just like, to me, I'm just male. I'm just trying to get a facility. I'm just trying to do, create wealth for my family, help other people have opportunities because somebody gave me a chance. And because they gave me that chance, I'm able to do what I do now. And that's all I want to do is give somebody else a chance. But it was so much tension. It was so hard to open these doors. So hard. You would not imagine the stuff I went through. People just coming in and just like, I was like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. And so now I've gotten to the point where they knew, the devil knows. He know if I was to ever open the doors, the lives that would change. If I was to ever open my mouth, the lives that would change. And so whenever I get in that place, even when I was across the street, when I was trying to get the facility, I was scared. I can't describe the fear, but I literally would listen to gospel. I would have an earpiece in. I would have one in and one out, and I would literally listen to gospel music the entire time because the fear would just overtake me. Like I'd be nervous, and I would just keep it in my ear, one ear, just so I could still, pay attention to what's going on. Even here, I've even read reviews where clients say, well, it's a nice atmosphere. She plays gospel music. And I literally have the music playing in here because sometimes the fear overtakes me. And I'm just like, oh my God, what have I done? Like, Melanie, don't mess up. You can't mess up. There's too many people depending on you. And that was the hardest thing for me. I'm like, all these people are watching me. You can't mess up. They're depending on you. And my mentor, I went to this camp and we're climbing up a mountain. And we're on the mountain, we're holding these rocks. And so, they're talking to us and they was like, at any time you can drop these rocks. None of us dropped the rocks. So we're still trying to climb up the mountain with the rocks. And so he comes next to me and he tells me, Melanie, you can't save the world right now. He said, you can drop the rocks at any time. And he said, the reason you can't save the world right now is you have to get what you need so that you can help everybody you need to help. Because if you try to bring people along or save them now, you'll end up right back where you were. And that was the biggest weight that got lifted off of me because now I felt like, okay, it's okay for me just to get myself together. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do everything that I'm supposed to do. But the stuff I have to go through now, nobody understands it. I really can't talk to anybody about it because this is the first time. This is first in my family. I'm the first business owner in my family. I'm the first entrepreneur. So it's not that my family is not supportive. They just don't understand what I'm going through. And it's different when you tell people God told you to do something. If it was, your daddy told you to do it or your mom told you to do it, it's different. But when you say God told you to do something, they look at you like, And I can remember going through the process with getting the facility, with the loan. It was all kind of stuff. And I was at my parents' house and I was very upset. Like I was crying, I was upset. And I was telling my mom, God told me to do this. And my dad, he stood up next to me and he told me, if he told you to do it, then you do it. And so I did it. I'm a Jew, I can't cry. And it was hard because my dad, he had a seizure during the process that I was trying. I told myself I cried so much before that I said, I just don't want to cry anymore. And I held it in for a long time. And when we had the grand opening here, I actually, I broke down then. That was the first time I had cried happy tears. Because I didn't know what happy tears were.
What about now?
Now, I'm okay. It's good days and it's bad days. But whenever I have a bad day, somebody always comes in and they say something, or I get a message, or something. Even with my daughter, whenever it's something, she comes and she okay. making all that noise?
Is that a sign of weakness to you?
Yeah.
Why?
I guess
Why?
because whenever I cried before, it was hurt. So crying, I mean, I even have people pick on me because whenever my clients are crying, so I'm like, "Is you crying?" Like, I just try to, like, I don't like to be. I guess I just got disconnected. I just emotionally disconnected, not very affectionate type. I just put up this wall. Like, I had trust issues, all kind of stuff. So it's just like, if I cry, it's from built up like tears. But I try my hardest not to cry. I don't know.
How do you deal with that now?
I literally, I'm a writer. I'm a jotter.
Do you still have trust issues? Do you still?
I have somewhat trust.
Is everybody suspect to you? What?
I still have some trust issues. God has given me a more discerning spirit. Before I let people in too easily. Now it's more of discern. I tell people, I said I had, you have friends, you have fans, and you have opportunists. And right now I'm in a space where I have to protect what he has me going through. I have to protect my ears because I can't let people get in my head because there's so many things that I'm trying to do. And if I'm already, a little iffy. And so once that one person agrees with my iffiness, it's going to make me not do it. So therefore I have to be very cautious of who I let in, and I'm okay with people leaving now. It doesn't bother me because I know you're not supposed to go where I'm going. Before it hurt, but now I'm cool with it.
Where are you going?
I just want to live like to the sky. The sky is not the limit. It's beyond that. Like, I've had so many visions beyond this building. I would have never thought I would have this building is 7,500 square feet. Like, never in a million years would I've ever thought I would have done this. But I know it's not it. He gives me these sights. He gives me these visions. He has me, and I hate talking in front of people. I do hair shows. I'm such a background person. I love being behind, and I don't know if that's just because of my past, but I don't like the upfrontness. And he's putting me up front. Like, I've seen places where I can't even see the audience, but I'm like on a stage and doing all this stuff. I'll be like, all right, G, like, calm down a little bit. I ain't ready for that yet, but I know this is not it. Like, this is going to be for my grandkids. Like, that's my vision. That's what I want. I want my daughter to see, yes, my mom went through this, she went through that, but she did it. So therefore she knows she can do it. And therefore her friends know that they can do it. And everybody that sits in my chair or that I'm connected to, just because I stepped out, you can step out too, no matter what you've been through.
Anything else you want to say?
I think that's it. I think that's it. Yeah. I mean, my Bible verse was actually John 4. Yeah. Greater is he that is in me than he that's in the world. Because the arenas I've had to walk in and the people I've encountered, I know it was all him coming out of me. I mean, coming in this building, I'll never forget because it was up for auction. So it was a bid. And I walked in, all businessmen, white guys, very prestigious or whatever. And when I walked in the room, none of them would even speak. They didn't even acknowledge that I was in the building. And when you walk in the room, you say, hey, how you doing, whatever. They didn't even acknowledge me. And it's just crazy how, God flipped that thing. Like, to them, I wasn't even a threat. Like, it was so, we got this. And then he just did it.
And when you think about that, what do you think?
I mean, I get excited. I'm like, like, I really did this. Like, wow, like, okay. God, you like that. So as I know his power, I know his strength. And I always love the quote where, our deepest fear, that quote, it's not that we're inadequate, it's that we're powerful beyond measure. And I know now the power that I possess. When I walk in a room, I never wanted to command the room or anything, but I can command the room and not say a word. Just walk in. And it's just the vibe that people draw to me. And I just go different places. I do these hair shows and so many people walk up to me and I tell people they never know how much they help me. They say I help them, but they never know how much they help me just by saying or sending a message or anything like that.
You don't get in trouble. Oh, Jesus. So what I need you to do now is I don't know what scripture you want. I don't know if you want to be Jeremiah. I don't know if you want to be John. I don't know. I'm just saying I need you looking at camera. And I need you to say, I am Melanie Taylor. I am Black Girl Magic. I am whatever scripture you want to say. Because I'm over here now trying to figure out how I'm going to do this.
Oh, Lord. I didn't mean to do it.
Yes, you did.
I just prayed. I told God to tell me what I need to say.
See? Just whenever you're ready, John will tell you.
Okay.
You need something from me? Oh, okay.
You ain't got it. Can you talk? I mean, why are you doing that?
Hold on 1 second. Make sure I get my thing right. Which one do I want? I think I'll do. I'll do Jeremiah. Oh, okay.
You got to read the whole thing. And
Okay.
you just want to quote whichever the verse is or whatever. Or it's up to you. You want to
Okay.
that's fine too.
I got to look.
Yeah. Well, no. You could just read it. We'll have a graphic on top.
Okay. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for Melanie, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper Melanie and not harm Melanie. Plans to give Melanie hope and a future.
Now I want you to say, I am Melanie Taylor, I am Black Girl Magic, I am Jeremiah 29.
Okay.
I will look right.
All right.
And in 3, 2, 1.
I am Melanie Taylor. I am Black Girl Magic. I am Jeremiah 29:11.